In this video, I'll be taking you through the top 18 things you must do after installing the brand new Fedora. You just install Fedora and it's nice, but it's far from complete. And in the next few minutes, I'll show you how to transform Fedora from nice to insanely powerful with secret software repositories, turbocharged performance tweaks, speedier internet connection, faster app launches, next level desktop customizations, and we'll create a system so fast and beautiful you'll wonder how you ever use it without these tweaks. This is not another video listing the obvious things like changing the wallpaper. Rather, I'll be sharing actionable steps that will transform your Fedora experience. Every time I install Fedora or any other Linux distro, I spend the first 15 minutes fine-tuning the system. And trust me, it's a game changer. Linux is a powerhouse, and with the right tweaks, you can unlock its full potential. So let's get started and supercharge your Fedora experience. Fedora is a strictly open source project, and it doesn't ship with any proprietary code, software that are patented, and software that have legal ambiguities. Nor does it have any such software available in its official repositories. While I respect and support this open source principle, it does vastly restrict the software availability. Many important packages like FFmpeg and GStreamer plugins, which are needed for most kind of media playback, and even software such as NVIDIA graphics drivers, Steam, VirtualBox, and many other popular software are not directly installable on Fedora. But there is a way out of this conundrum. RPM Fusion is a third-party software repository for Fedora and other RPM-based distros like OpenSUSE. With RPM Fusion, you can install all these packages like the proprietary NVIDIA drivers, Steam, multimedia codecs, and a lot more. RPM Fusion is split into two main sub-repositories. RPM Fusion Free contains open source software that Fedora's policies prevent it from inclusion. RPM Fusion Non-Free gives us proprietary software such as NVIDIA graphics drivers, Steam, etc. You can enable RPM Fusion Free and RPM Fusion Non-Free by running the commands given in the description below. Once you do that, the software library just opens up. RPM Fusion repositories don't just enhance the software availability on Fedora. I think they bring in even essential functionality to Fedora. For most use cases, RPM Fusion is a must-have. Fedora gives us the stock GNOME desktop out of the box. While this definitely looks clean and polished, stock GNOME is not the most optimal way to use Fedora. There are no icons on the desktop, there is no dock. This is just a bare-bones setup. But fret not, my friend. Gnome Extensions give you an exceptionally deep level of control in configuring and personalizing GNOME in how it looks and how it behaves. While Gnome Extensions can be installed from their website, it is a clunky process, and you can just use the Gnome Extensions Manager application to directly search, install, and manage these extensions. Dash to dock is an absolute must-have for stock GNOME because with this, opening and switching between applications becomes a one-step process. Without this, you will have to press the super button first and then click on the icons. Dash to panel is another quality of life improvement extension that fuses the dash, the top bar, app launcher, running task list, and the system tray into a single highly configurable panel. I absolutely love this. This is ideal for users seeking a traditional desktop layout, but in the GNOME desktop environment. You can also try out Arc Menu, which replaces GNOME's full-screen Candy Crush Appgrid with a simpler start menu style launcher. There are hundreds more to choose from. Blur My Shell, Clipboard Indicator, Emoji Selector, Vitals, Just Perfection, and Caffeine to name some. Yeah, go shopping. While I understand that GNOME has its own workflow and it expects you to do things in a certain way, I just cannot live without window controls. That is the maximize and minimize buttons. Yeah, I know GNOME desktop creators have designed GNOME to work without a minimize button, but hey, the heart wants what it wants. Let's quickly open the gnome-tweaks application, and from there you can toggle on these window controls. You can also choose the orientation of these controls. Gnome-tweaks also gives us some additional settings that are not available in the settings application. You can also change things like animations, font configuration, keyboard and mouse customization, and a few other things here. And other things like changing the accent colors, the light and dark modes, that can be done from the settings application. We get 9-10 accent colors here. How many are these? So you can go ahead and mix and match. Alright, this is one of the most intelligent ways I have seen to supercharge our computers. When you click on an application icon, a small amount of time is needed for that application to be read from your hard disk and be loaded into memory before the app pops up on your screen. Now this time can be very short or quite long based on your disk read speeds, whether you're using a hard disk drive or a solid state drive, and the size of the application itself. Now here's how Preload works its magic. Preload is a teeny tiny daemon that runs in the background and studies which applications you use more and most frequently. Basically, it creates a list of your everyday apps. It then loads parts of those applications into memory in advance. So when you actually launch the app, it starts much faster because it's already kept in the memory. It's like having your most used apps on standby, ready to go. This can make a significant difference in launch time for heavier applications like Office suites, web browsers, video editors, and other larger applications. And the best part, Preload is super easy to install and set up. It auto starts as a background service. You won't see a GUI or anything, but it will quietly do its thing. Give it some time to learn your usage patterns and it will do its magic in the background. You will notice your most used applications start to load up faster after a few days. Preload works best if you have 8 GB of RAM or more. If you already have a fast SSD, you won't notice a big improvement, but it will be there. You can remove Preload anytime by running sudo DNF remove Preload. Now it's time to enhance the functionality of your brand new Fedora installation with some fantastic applications. You can open the software store and browse. Fedora allows you to install Flatpaks as well as RPM packages from the software store, and the collection is quite good too. And we also have already enriched the software library here by adding RPM Fusion repositories. This software store is rich with fantastic applications across categories. I'm going to install Kdenlive, Blender, GIMP. Pretty much anything and everything you may need can be directly installed from here. So yeah, go ahead and browse around. Next, I'll show you a really cool way to make your internet faster. No, you don't need to upgrade your internet plan or get a new router. You might have noticed, whenever you try to open a website, there's a very small gap in time before the actual website starts to load. This might be very small sometimes, and sometimes it can be quite long. During that time, your computer will be resolving the IP address of the website you requested. For this, your internet connection will use the DNS resolution that your internet service provider provides. It's okay, but DNS provided by your ISPs are generally not the fastest. By switching to a service like Cloudflare DNS, OpenDNS, or even Google DNS, you're tapping into ultra-fast, highly optimized networks that resolve domains much quicker. I mean, they are the best in the game. This means website load faster. Open settings and jump to network. Click on the gear icon here on the Wi-Fi that you use. In the IPv4 section, turn off the automatic toggle. In this text box, paste the numbers from the description below. Then we do the same for IPv6 section. We are going to use Google DNS, which is really good. It's reliable and resolves IP addresses very fast. I've used many custom DNS and Google and Cloudflare DNS tend to work the best. I prefer the Google one. Apply the settings, turn off the Wi-Fi and turn it back on. Enjoy a faster internet. Seriously, try it. It's one of those tech hacks that once you do it, you'll never go back. As I said earlier, Fedora ships with only open source software, and this applies to drivers as well. AMD and Intel integrated GPU drivers are pre-installed in the kernel itself, and you'll be getting max performance right off the box with these GPUs. But for us NVIDIA users, we'll be getting the open source Nuvo drivers, which is good enough, but the proprietary drivers are way better with regard to performance. NVIDIA has been making a lot of improvements with their newest 500 series drivers, and it also brings phenomenal compatibility with Wayland Display Server. So I highly recommend everybody who has NVIDIA GPUs to install the proprietary drivers, as the performance gains are simply hard to ignore. And if you'll be gaming or using software like Blender, this is an absolutely must-do step. We will be installing NVIDIA drivers using RPM Fusion. If you turned on RPM Fusion non-free repositories in the first step, then you can go right ahead and install them with these commands. NVIDIA drivers can be installed directly using the software store too, but let's just run the commands. Once it's done, reboot your computer to fire off the new drivers. You will certainly start noticing the difference in the smoothness and performance of your computer. By the way, if you haven't already, check out my course Linux Mastery Express. I've designed this course to level up your Linux skills very quickly. With this course, you'll get so comfortable using the terminal commands that your friends will think you're a Linux wizard. You'll get perfect with the most used, most useful commands, and also learn advanced things like using the V editor and shell scripting as well. Linux Mastery Express, link in the description, do check it out. The GNOME Software Center that we get here is cool and all, but it is quite basic. One huge disadvantage of using the GNOME software on Fedora is that it doesn't show every package in the Fedora repositories here. It actually hides a large part of the Fedora universe. Many GUI apps are not available here, and pretty much none of the command line tools, kernel streams, and libraries can be installed using the software store here. It's also quite slow, and to prioritize user friendliness, it doesn't show a lot of technical details. While this is cool for your everyday Linux user, advanced users might need deeper technical information, like from which repository a particular package is being downloaded from. And sometimes you need something more robust, something more powerful. Enter DNF Dragora. Install it by running sudo dnf install DNFDragora. Once installed, launch it and give it a few minutes to download metadata. You can notice that DNF Dragora looks like the Synaptic Package Manager, which is yet another powerful tool for Debian-based systems. Here, the packages are organized into groups. You can search for software from all the repositories installed on your system, including RPM Fusion. This search feature alone is just invaluable. You can also batch install and uninstall software from here. DNF Dragora can also be used to handle updates. DNF Dragora is a powerful package manager which gives you advanced control over package management. This is an absolute must-have for intermediate and advanced Fedora users. Today, we spend so much of our time on our browsers. We use more web apps than we use applications. At least I do. So it makes sense for our browsers to be tuned up for maximum performance. Firefox is the default browser on Fedora and it's awesome. And I'll show you 2 tweaks that will make it even more awesome and faster. The GPU in your computer will be pretty much idle most of the time. GPUs are extremely powerful for certain kinds of tasks like rendering. Far better than the CPU. But by default, browsers on Linux use the CPU to do most of the work. While this is fine, it's not the best possible web browsing experience you can get. You paid for that GPU, let's put it to work. You'll see significant improvements. First, let's enable hardware acceleration. Open Firefox and type in about:config and hit enter. Click on accept. Here, paste this line from the description below and toggle this from false to true. This will enable hardware acceleration on your computer, which is set to false by default on Linux. On some distributions, this setting is actually available in the settings itself, but on Fedora it was not, so we'll do it the manual way. Restart Firefox. This alone will give you much smoother animations and scrolling. Your PC will handle larger websites much easily now. You can check out the performance difference by playing some online games or just scrolling on YouTube. We can also take it one more step ahead and turn on web render. Now web render is slowly being enabled for different hardware. So some might already have this enabled, but not everybody. Paste this in the about config page and toggle the value to true just like you did the first one. Restart your browser to see the improvements. Of course, if you get any kind of negative effects, you can turn them both back to false. As I always say, there's no excuse for not having a backup, and Timeshift Backup is something that every Linux user must have. Timeshift is a very powerful software. It has the capacity to restore your system from the worst of crashes and mess-ups. It can even destroy your operating system even if you completely delete your system. It's that powerful. And having this enables us Linux users to tinker under the hood and play with the inner workings of Linux without having to worry about breaking the system. And now that we have our system set up, it's time to make a backup. Install Timeshift using the commands given in the description below. Once it's done, open it. You have 2 options in the backup type. Keep rsync checked if you install Fedora with ext4, or if you want to back up to some other partition or a USB stick, which I recommend. Select BTRFS if you install Fedora with BTRFS, which is a default. Then click on next here. Select your system partition. With BTRFS, you can't choose any other partition except for the system partition. Now one thing you should notice, Fedora might have issues with BTRFS sub-volume naming conventions, so it will have problems identifying proper partitions on BTRFS. If that's the case for you, go back and select rsync. In the second screen, select the location for the backup. Click next here. You can set up automatic backups. You have various frequencies. We are backing up a completely set up system that has all the drivers and all the software we need. That's enough, I think. Anyway, if you want, go ahead and check the monthly backups too. I want to make it clear that Timeshift does not back up your personal files like your documents, photos, and projects by default. You can configure it to do so, but I don't recommend it. Click next here and on this page, click on Create. This will create a backup of the system obviously, which you can roll back to any moment you want. In case you break your operating system or future update breaks your system, you can restore your system to this particular moment with Timeshift. It's a great tool and it has saved my system innumerable times. And if you back up to a USB stick, even if you delete the OS, you can get it back. If you keep juggling between your phone and your computer, then you need to connect them together and unify your workflow experience. GSConnect is an awesome GNOME extension for this. It's actually a re-implementation of KDE-Connect, and it lets you pair your Android phone with your computer and allows you to text using your PC, share files between your phone and your computer very conveniently. And it also allows you to control your PC using phone and do a lot more. You can also get your phone notifications directly on your Fedora, and even the clipboard can be shared between both the devices, and that can be a really convenient thing. And the cool thing is, setting this up is really simple. Download the GSConnect extension on your Fedora and install the KDE-Connect app on your phone. Make sure both the devices are on the same Wi-Fi and just pair them. I'll just give you quick troubleshooting tips here. If your devices do not appear in the available devices list, then you can just log out from your Fedora and you can log back in and it'll work. And if that doesn't work, you can try to clean the KDE-Connect data on your Android phone. Once you start using these, you'll just love it. It is so feature rich and a necessity today actually. Both the desktop app and phone app are fairly simple to use and self-explanatory. GNOME has a very different kind of workflow when compared to other traditional desktops like the Cinnamon desktop, Plasma or even Windows. The super button is your best friend here. Wanna switch between apps? Super button. Workspaces? Super button. Wanna open an application with search? Super button. And GNOME desktop has a very powerful search. This search right here has been built to highly accelerate your productivity. You can search for installed applications, files on your computer, your calendar entries, and so much more, all through the same search. Now I'm sure you have your own way of doing things. I sure do. For example, I don't open files and folders through search. In fact, I never search for files even in the Files app. So I don't need the search to display files and folders every time I type a letter in the search. In fact, it's actually slightly counterproductive for me. So I can just turn off the files and folder search from being searched and displayed here. You can even reorganize how the results are displayed. The same with pretty much everything else here. I'm going to keep only applications, settings and calculator active here. You can customize it according to your needs. Fedora's DNF package manager is not the fastest package manager when we are talking about the time it takes to download and install software or handle updates. But with Fedora 42 update, we have received a massive update and DNF jumps up to version 5. And this is a complete rewrite that is showing significant performance boosts. But we can speed up DNF by a huge margin by modifying some defaults. Open a terminal and run the given commands. Copy from the description below. With this, we are telling DNF to use the fastest server to download software. This is very important because without this, in some locations, DNF might download software from servers that serve software at very low speeds. When I say low speeds, I've had download speeds of less than 10 kilobytes per second. This command fixes that. Then we are telling DNF to download multiple packages at the same time. This will also significantly reduce update times as multiple packages will be downloaded in parallel. These two commands fix the ridiculously long package install and update times that Fedora is infamous for. Gaming on Fedora and Linux in general is a phenomenal experience today. A good number of fantastic games are available natively on Linux now, and mainly now with Steam's Proton feature, a majority of Windows exclusive games like The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, GTA 5, Cyberpunk 2077, Doom Eternal and many more are playable on Linux, and that too without any wine or play on Linux hassle. Just install it from the software store. You can either install it as a RPM package or as a flatpak. Both are fine. Choose whichever you prefer. Install it. Log into your account and from the Steam settings, enable compatibility for all titles. Now Windows games become installable on Linux. Yeah, you just click on install and once it's done, click on play. You don't need to do any more tweaking or configuring. Today, Steam is an absolutely must-have application for both gaming enthusiasts and for casual gaming. Check out ProtonDB to see which Windows games run fine on Linux. Fedora has been created to suit everybody's computational needs and preferences. It comes with very same defaults out of the box. While the optimized default settings are great, you can make your system more to your liking. Open Settings. The most important thing you should be doing is changing the wallpaper. Then manage your notifications, adjust other settings, connect your system to these popular cloud services for a more connected experience. There's so much more here. Just take your time and explore everything. By default, few applications have been pinned to the dash for quick access. You can remove the ones that you don't use and add the applications that you use the most. You can also rearrange them by dragging and dropping. Quick tip, you can launch these applications by pressing the Windows button or the Super button plus the number of the order. For example, Super plus 3 will open the file manager. Along with that, the Appgrid is now highly customizable. You can directly drag and drop applications, and you can create buckets to organize or dump away applications. You can also easily drop applications to the next or previous pages in the application grid. Yeah, play around and customize everything to suit you better. Research has shown that staring at screens later in the evening and night significantly reduces your sleep quality and quantity. This done on a regular basis can be detrimental to your health and mental health. Looking at bright screens and lights at night confuses your circadian rhythms. While absolutely stopping screen time near bedtime will do wonders for your sleep quality and your mood and alertness the next day, it's not always practical. But science has the next best thing with Nightlight. Your computer starts to change to warmer colors as the sun starts going down. This significantly promotes melatonin production in your body. Trust me, you gotta feel it. You can set the timing you want Nightlight to be enabled and even the intensity. I've enabled Nightlight on my computer, my Android phone, and even my bedroom light. I kid you not. The difference in my sleep quality is astronomical. I cannot go back. Definitely try this one. Although Linux systems don't need any kind of housekeeping or maintenance, cleaning it a couple of times every year can be beneficial. Not necessary, but definitely beneficial. For this, we'll use the good old BleachBit. Install it by running sudo DNF install BleachBit. Restart your computer if you applied any updates before you run BleachBit. Open BleachBit as root using the terminal. Open a terminal and run sudo BleachBit, and then check the entries here. If you get any warnings on any tick, just click on cancel. Once it's done, you can preview the junk on your system and clean it. You can also run BleachBit without root and delete application and browser junk. Run this every 6 months or so and you'll feel your computer get more responsive instantly. Well, there you have it guys. These 18 steps will elevate your Fedora experience in every way. Performance, looks, and that experience of just using your computer will be bettered significantly. And now, go ahead and enjoy your Fedora Pro Max. If you found this video useful, if you enjoyed it, definitely consider subscribing to my channel. Which one of these 18 boosts did you like the most? Tell me using the comment section below. I'd love to hear them. And if you're interested in leveling up your Linux skills, the link to my course, Linux Mastery Express, is given in the description below. It's designed to teach you Linux and take you from zero to hero in the shortest time possible. You'll be using Linux like a pro within a matter of hours, so definitely check that out. Next up, check out the top 15 hottest hacks that will supercharge your Linux desktop's performance to the next level and truly unlock your Linux. It's got some really cool tweaks, so definitely don't miss that. Alright, this is Linux Techs signing out.